Sabemos que a la mayoría de las personas no les gustó el final en la última temporada de Game of Thrones. Y entre las muchas razones que existen para odiarla, para nosotros quizá la más importante es que dejó de lado la fantasía para centrarse en un discurso que era muy literal y muy político. Por ejemplo, los White Walkers, esa amenaza milenaria que nos dijeron que era terrible desde el primer episodio de la primera temporada, fue derrotada en un solo episodio y además lo hicieron a oscuras. Todas esas metáforas como los White Walkers, las brujas o incluso los dragones que nos explicaban un poquito el desprendimiento del humano frente al poder, pasaron a segundo plano y todos los personajes dieron un giro justamente porque dejaron de lado toda esa fantasía que le daba sentido a sus personajes. Y todos quedamos súper defraudados por la simpleza de un final que parecía una comedia muy mal lograda. Pero para fortuna de todos, unos años después llegó una segunda producción titulada House of the Dragon, que está basada en el libro que se titula Fire and Blood y que nos cuenta la historia de los Targaryen desde su llegada a Westeros hasta la llamada Danza de los Dragones. Y todo nos lo cuenta de una manera muy interesante porque es una especie de libro falso de historia. Y es en la segunda temporada de House of the Dragon que todas estas metáforas y la fantasía de los dragones, el fuego y el poder crecen y nos tienen muy emocionados. Por eso aquí en Cinemática quisimos tener varios invitados especiales para hablar de esta mega producción y entre ellos está Max Carranza, que es editor de noticias y también locutor en Sopitas FM por Radio Chilango y muy fan de todo este universo de House of the Dragons, Game of Thrones y todas las novelas de este universo. Pero también tuvimos oportunidad de hablar con algunos de los actores que participan en esta segunda temporada para hablar, por ejemplo, de la princesa Rhaenys, Lord Corlys, el rey Aegon o el príncipe Aemond. Así que quédense aquí en Cinemática, este programa de sopitas.com donde hablamos de cine, series y todas las historias que más nos interesan y que más entendemos.
Thank you very much for your time. I'm very excited to have the chance to talk with you about this second season. And I would like to start by saying that both of your characters are pivotal in House of the Dragon because they have delivered some of the most profound and interesting quotes, during the first season and even in the trailer for the second season. For example, Lord Corlys says that history does not remember blood, it remembers names. And it's very interesting because how he was obsessed with the idea of legacy, because at the end I think that legacy is something from the future with events from the past, and he is not part of any of those. No one can be part of any of those events. So I would like to know how your character has evolved with the idea of legacy, considering the situation.
Oh, that's very interesting. I think he still believes that. But I think one of the things that, certainly towards the end of season 1 and for a significant amount of season 2, is him realizing the cost of his actions, of him trying to pursue this legacy, which, to my modern eyes is pointless because, you live and then you die and that's it. So I think he still has that feeling. I think if you got him in a quiet moment and said to him, do you think legacy is important? He would probably say yes. But my pursuit of it has cost me my son and my daughter and my heir. And we're now about to go into war. Is it really worth it? I think despite what we see in season 2, what he says on his sickbed in episode 10, when he says, let's just go, let's just forget all about this. Let's just, you and I just enjoy the rest of the week. I think that's still where he's at. Any action that he does after that is because of his wife, I think.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting.
It's so interesting. I don't feel that at all. It's so interesting what because I received that he's like, there's a sniff of war in the air, and he's right.
Oh, right. See, that's.
Well, hey, let's get going. Let's get back down. Let's get the ship on, let's head off. And I feel that from her perspective, it feels like he's absolutely raring to go. He's always been, he's kind of like a what do they call those? They're like chipmunks. He's like a meerkat. He's just kind of leapt up to the. To the excitement of this new.
No, I think he's keen to get to sea, because that's the one place it's quite clear. If you do this, this will happen. Yeah. On the land, it's all like we could do this, but then you have to think about this, and he doesn't like that. But I don't think he think
he can escape.
Yeah, I don't think he's rushing to war, because I think he's one of the few people who's actually seen war.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
But I get what
that's a good distinction. But it certainly feels like he's rushing to get back onto his boat.
Yes.
No, I agree, because he is witness of the consequences of war, and he absolutely does want to be part of it.
No.
You know? Yeah, it's interesting because Princess Rhaenys says there's no war so hateful to the gods than a war between kin. And that's very revealing because, in my opinion, Black Council has more things to lose than any of them. It's not only about dragons, it's not only about power or money, it's about family, you know? And your characters have lost everything, their daughter and their son, and they are pursuing something that it's not clear to me, but I think that they have more to lose.
I think she feels it actually that not just that the Black Council have more to lose, but society, the world has more to lose, and that the war is, you know, no war is ever a good idea, ever, and they have, as a couple, like you say, they've lost pretty much everything apart from each other. They're older than everyone else involved, with the shaky exception of Otto Hightower, who's exited, who's sort of sidling in the background. But they have more experience of life and death than anyone else in the room. And they know more about, they understand more about what it costs, and the devastation that they're all facing, I think, on a much more core level than any of these, sorry to say it, but children who are sort of scrabbling around in what feels like a sandpit, to be honest, playing at something that is I feel like that we too, of everybody else present, understand in a much more profound way, and certainly in different ways, but certainly Rhaenys's modus operandi is let's just stop and take a breath and talk and clear this up before we destroy everything.
I would like to know, what do you think about the meaning of loyalty in a war, especially in a war that it's so like familiar and so intimate for your characters? Because, for example, for Aegon, it seems to be very clear the purpose of the conflict, because he is the king and he needs the people to be loyal to him. But there is like a sense of entitlement that can blind his leadership.
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a very layered question. I think originally not wanting the responsibility of the king and to sit the Iron Throne has been something that has morphed into embracing and enjoying the newfound respect and sort of general fear that people have of Aegon now. His power is intoxicating to him, and he's like a child in a sweet shop. He wants it all, you know. He does crave that general cohesion amongst Westeros and a common understanding that he is the king, no other option. And you're right in thinking that. But his strive, his sort of aim for power and glory and all those things do distract him somewhat. But again, there's so many things in Aegon's head that are confusing him, that are throwing him off course. His inner insecurity and vulnerability, I think we really see in season 2, a flavour that we haven't seen fully before.
I know. No, it's very interesting because I also think that for Aemond it's very complicated because he's the brother of the king and he hates his nephews and he has so many reasons to fight this war. But I think that after the Lucerys incident, he realized that there are real consequences. It's not more a game between kin, you know. There is a consequence for everything that he does.
I think his face very much says that at the end of the show. You know, that look of regret and realizing behemoth of power that Vhagar is, and realizing that he did go too far. He overcompensated. For those last 3 episodes in season 1 that my interpretation of Aemond played, I really wanted to give the audience a character who at that point in his life was just completely black, you know, in a show full of morally compromised grey characters. I thought his appearance lends to that, so I thought I'd lean into it, only to contradict your thoughts at the end of the season, where you realise, oh my God, he isn't that one-dimensional black hat. There's something else there that I can't wait for audience members to explore in season 2. Yeah, you're going to see more layers of Aemond. You might even like him a little bit.
Like an onion.
Nunca compararíamos la producción de Game of Thrones con la de House of the Dragon, porque son cosas muy distintas a pesar de estar ambientadas en el mismo universo. Por ejemplo, la ventaja que ahorita le vemos a House of the Dragon frente a lo que sucedió con Game of Thrones es que House of the Dragon ya tiene toda su historia escrita por el autor original, y lo que pasó con Game of Thrones, como sabemos, es que la penúltima y la última temporada se la chutaron los guionistas porque Martin, el escritor, estaba muy atrasado y aún sigue atrasado porque no ha publicado nada. Sin embargo, todos los valores de la producción, como la fotografía, la forma en la que desarrollan la narrativa, las actuaciones, el elenco, todo es muy destacado. Así que tendremos que esperar a que siga avanzando House of the Dragon para hacer una comparativa más justa, pero creemos que no es necesario porque ambas producciones son de muchísima calidad y pues tienen a todos los fans pegadísimos al sillón. Así que, ¿ustedes qué opinan? ¿Les gustó Game of Thrones? ¿Por qué odian el final de la temporada? ¿Cuál es su personaje favorito? ¿Qué es lo que más les emociona de esta segunda temporada de House of the Dragon? ¿Y qué es lo que les espera a todos estos personajes? Nos encanta leer todo lo que nos escriben, así que no dejen de escribirnos ahí lo que más les interesa, los temas que quieren que desarrollemos de este lado, y recuerden que ya tenemos nuevos canales para Cinemática en TikTok, en YouTube, en Instagram. Así que escríbanos y nos leemos en el próximo episodio.